Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video we're going to be looking at one of the most popular team compositions in the current patch, which is 9.23 as I record this, second patch of the Rise of the Elements Set 2. And that would be a team composition that's based on running the Ocean and Mage combination. Ocean is the element, Mage is, I believe, called the Origin officially, although that's kind of unwieldy, but whatever. Basically what these do is Ocean provides lots of extra mana for your champions so that they can use their abilities more often, and the Mage portion means that you're using your spells to do damage, and you have a chance to get off spells twice. So here in set 2, there's always an elemental aspect to each board, and on this board you can see we have got an ocean tile in the middle, so this is going to be an ocean map. Ocean maps provide a tile where anyone who stands on them gets 30 extra mana at the start, so I'm going to actually highlight that here. This champ starts with 30 extra mana. So it naturally lends itself towards compositions that are based on using spells for damage as opposed to using auto attacks for damage, unlike an Inferno map, which leans towards more auto attack type champions. And on the initial carousel, as soon as I saw that this was an ocean map, I immediately went for the Needlessly Large Rod. Needlessly Large Rod builds into a whole bunch of different items that are good for casters, characters that use their skills or their spells to deal damage. Not so good for, like I said, an auto attack composition, not so good for someone who's trying to be super tanky. But if you're planning to go into like an Ocean Mage setup, then getting the Needlessly Large Rod is a really good starting item. So my first minion round yields me Nocturne. Nocturne's an assassin. It is not going to fit with the comp I'm running here. I mean, I suppose I could have canceled, I could have gone into an assassin comp. I actually believe I got some decent assassin champs throughout this game, but that wasn't the way I was looking to go for this match. Not nearly as good on an ocean map either. Now with that said, sometimes it can be good to play an assassin setup on like a ocean map because everyone else is going for an ocean mage summoner type setup. And that is one thing you have to be aware of. You need to be paying attention to what other people are running for their compositions, because the more people that are running the same comp, the harder it is for you to find the champions that you want. In any case though, I sold the Nocturne for 3 gold. That allowed me to pick up all of the initial champs, all 5, which you might as well do because you don't know exactly what you're going to get. You might as well just take the whole board if you can. And I have already managed to make a 2-star Maokai, which is really nice. This is great. This means I can run Druid Woodland in the early game. I can run the Maokai plus the Ivern. That makes Druid. I'm 1 away from Woodland, so if I can find a Woodland champ, that would be nice. And here you're going to see me load up on all the different champs on the board again, just waiting to see what's going to pop up in future rounds. So far, I have gotten that Needlessly Large Rod. I've also gotten a Negatron Cloak that makes Ionic Spark as the combined item. Not ideal for the setup I'm trying to go for, so I'm going to hold off on making any items until I can see, hold off on combining any items until I can see what we get next. If you're new to set 2 in Teamfight Tactics, just as a reminder, Druid provides extra health regen. It's very good in the early game. It falls off as the game goes on. Druid Woodland comps are really good in the early game, but you generally want to transition to something else. So I'm continuing to pick up the Threshes, continuing to picked up another Vlad. So Vlad is Ocean Mage. He is a core unit for any Ocean plus Mage combo because he has both traits. Now he's only a 1-cost unit, but he actually scales pretty well. And here, since we're about to go into the first round against another player, I see that if I level to 4, I can get, I can like basically make something. I can make Ocean as well as my existing Druid. So I thought it was worthwhile to do that, so I could put in Vlad plus Thresh, and then that would allow me to make both Druid and Ocean. Now, what I was doing right there is I was looking for other comps, and unfortunately 2 other people seem to be going for the Ocean comp. Also, unfortunately, this particular round, I'm up against someone who's running Woodland Druid, has made both Woodland and Druid, and as a result is able to get the doubled unit. What Woodland does is it randomly clones one of the Woodland units. At the start of combat, random Woodland champ makes a copy of themselves. They do not copy the items, but they do copy the champion. And the other thing that was unfortunate about this is my champions focused on the Renekton, who was the 2-star unit in this comp. I actually could have killed some of the other units, I think, pretty easily, but basically my champs kind of focused the wrong unit. And Renekton's really good at soaking up damage. He's only a 1-cost unit, so he doesn't scale very well as the game goes on. But early on, a 2-star Renekton's really good at soaking up damage. He's basically Darius from set 1. For anyone who might have played the set 1, he's basically Darius again. So that round was a loss, but I think that my setup here would have been good enough to beat most of the people. See, look, there's another Ocean comp right there, being played by Lou Killera. And then I'm looking at the other comps, and down there at the bottom you see Noob AD is also going to play an Ocean comp. So this is one of the downsides. Ocean Mage is really strong at the moment. It's a little bit overpowered, so it's often contested, and particularly here on an Ocean map, it's you're going to have other people probably contesting for the same comp. So could arguably be a call to play a different comp, just because like you don't want other people trying to get the same champs. But in any case, that's what we're going to go for this game, and we'll see what happens. Now, in this game, we're up against Noob AD. As I mentioned, he's basically running the same comp. You can see he pretty much has the same champs. He also has a Vlad. He has a 2-star Vlad, and he also has a Thresh back there. By the way, that Thresh shield blocking a lot of damage, but he doesn't. He was only level 3 as opposed to level 4, and he's got a lot of champs on his bench there. But yeah, he was only level 3 as compared to level 4, and I am going to hit on some good luck here. I managed to get the 2-star Thresh very early on. So Thresh is Ocean plus Warden. He pairs really well with Nautilus, who's the other frontline unit for this comp. Basically, you run Thresh and Nautilus as your frontline units when you're running this composition. They're both Ocean and both Warden. So the Ocean provides mana for your spellcasters, and the Warden provides extra armor. So let me just read out what they do. I've got the official list here of what all the different traits do. Ocean, all allies restore extra mana every 4 seconds. If you have 2 Ocean, I believe it's 20 mana back every 4 seconds. 4 Ocean is 40, and 6 Ocean, which you need an Ocean Lux to get, is 60 mana every 4 seconds, which is, I mean, 6 Ocean is just absurd. Your spellcaster is just casting. So basically, you're getting extra mana back. And if you look closely, like if you watch Thresh's mana bar, periodically it just jumps up as a result of that Ocean kicking in every 4 seconds. So we easily beat Kogatsu the King. He didn't have the same number of 2-star units as we had, and with the Maokai plus the Thresh to tank, right now my comp is really tanky. The issue is I don't have any damage. Like that, this comp right now has no damage in it. So I'm going to need to fix that relatively soon, because the Druid, great for very early game, but it's going to fall off pretty quickly, especially as people start getting abilities that have healing debuffs on them. So anyway, it's my turn to pick. I really want to get the Giant's Belt. That's my top item right now, because that would allow me to make Morellonomicon. I actually could use Syndra, but I would prefer still to sell the Syndra just so I can make the Morellonomicon. That is Needlessly Large Rod plus Giant's Belt. Great item. It provides extra health, and it also has a burn effect on spells, and it serves as a healing debuff. So anyway, watch this. I'm actually going to go back to my pool here, and I can actually sell the Syndra. I was actually just below 10 gold. I think I was at 9. So look, I sell the Syndra. I get up to 11 gold. So I actually get the bonus income as a result of that. Now, I want to make Morellonomicon because it's a really good item, but I don't want to put it on a unit that's going to stick in this comp. Like, I want to put it on a unit that's going to come out of this comp later on, because I want the Morellonomicon to go on Brand. Brand is the carry for this particular setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to level to 5, I'm going to put these items on Azir, and I'm just going to have Azir hold items until I can find Brand. And I'm actually going to go ahead and swap that. So now Azir starts on that Ocean tile with a full mana bar, and so he will call out a Sand Soldier immediately, and that Sand Soldier will get the Morellonomicon buff. So see the Sand Soldier up at the top of the screen? That Sand Soldier is doing a lot of work right now. It's just cutting through the enemy team, and of course it's also applying that healing debuff as well. Now the second Sand Soldier is going to attack the Voidling minions. So like, look, even though Azir's only a 1-star unit, he does more damage than any of the 2-star units, because he's got that item, and because, you know, he's just kind of inherently a better unit because he's a 3-cost unit. So yeah, Morellonomicon, really, really good item. Like I said, spells deal burn damage equal to 20% of enemies' max HP and prevents healing. So the big thing is, it's not the burn effect so much, although it is nice. It's the healing debuff is really, really good. And fortunately, I find another Syndra anyway. So, like, I could have had Syndra 2-star, but I would preferred to sell the Syndra so I could make the Morellonomicon. And this particular comp seems to be pretty strong. I'm on a 3-game winning streak. I have spent into my income to try to maintain that winning streak. Now, obviously, by leveling to 5 early, I lose out on some of the passive gold I could be getting. By the way, there's Noob AD making, again, a comp that's very similar to mine. But if I can maintain the winning streak, it's probably worthwhile to do so. Let me talk briefly about what's on my bench. So I'm building Syndra. Syndra's another Ocean plus Mage, so she's another core part of this team comp. Very useful to have in. And I've also picked up the Sullla. And so Sullla I'm holding on to because she is Mountain plus Mage. And if I end up getting a 2-star Sullla later on, I can put in Malphite, and get the mountain buff, which is really quite nice because one of the weaknesses of the Ocean Mage setup is it doesn't have a great front line. It's a lot of spellcasters, so your tankiness is relatively limited, and Malphite makes a great addition to the team comp because he's able to provide that tankiness. By the way, right here you're seeing the Thresh Lantern just doing so much work. I was getting shield after shield after shield from Thresh, so the 2-star Thresh, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, super duper helpful in that particular battle just because of all of the healing provided. Alright, so we're finished up the second full rotation here. We're on a minion round on Krugs, and right now I'm looking to try to stockpile some gold. I am on a 4-game winning streak. I'd love to keep that going, but I'm actually first in the game in terms of health, at least for the moment, which is nice. Always nice to have extra health banked up because you never know. The number of games I've seen where someone like survives with 1 or 2 hit points and then like goes on a big winning streak and like finishes top 2 or 3. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I always want to avoid taking damage if possible. So yeah, we're gonna see what items we get here. Obviously, I would like to get more needlessly large rods. More tiers would be really nice as well. One thing that you would love to do with this setup is to get a tier plus spatula, because that allows you to make Wooglet's Witch Cap and get another mage into your comp. There are some champions that if you can make them mages, it's really strong. So I do not get a tier. I do get a needlessly large rod. So I'll see what I can do in terms of making items. One thing I can do is I can pair it with the jeweled gauntlet to get the brawler's gloves to get the gauntlet, which allows your spells to critically strike. It's not an ideal item. There are better items that you can make than that. In particular, one thing you have to be careful of is someone who has a Phantom Dancer can actually dodge your spells, because Phantom Dancer dodges all crits, so you can actually dodge it if they crit. But I'm going to go ahead and make it anyway, just because it is still a good item. It does still buff up a spellcaster, and there you see, this unit spells can critically strike. One thing I didn't do was put any units on the other Ocean tile, which was a mistake. I should shift the unit over there, because it's kind of silly not to make use of it. Anyway, I am up against something new. He is in 2nd place right now, and this is a battle that is just going to go very unfortunately for me. All right, so we're focusing on the Scion. Look how low the Scion is, but oh, the clutch Ivern shield right as he's about to die. And now we're going to kill Scion again, but no, another Ivern shield. So Scion actually gets off not 1, but 2 uses of his ult. And now he's shielded yet again. And oh boy, this is a round that I think we could have won with just slightly better luck. But Scion getting all those shields right when he's about to die allows him to strive. So unfortunately, this is going to be a loss, and my win streak will come to an end, which is unfortunate because I was up to a 4-game winning streak. So, like I said, slightly unlucky RNG there. However, that's going to be offset by some good RNG here, because even though I am only level 5, and that means I don't have a very good odds to find 4-cost champions, at level 5 you actually only have 5% odds to find 4-cost champs. But I do find one, and in fact, it's Brand, who is exactly the carry I'm looking for. So this is very good news. Brand is the core champion that this comp builds towards, and I'm actually going to go ahead and level to 6, and I'm going to do that so that I can get Mage, another Mage into this, so I can make Mage. The Mage Origin officially. What 3 Mages is 50% chance to double cast your spells, so that means whenever Brand gets his ult off, he'll have 50% odds to cast it twice. Let's see if he casts it twice here. He's about to go off. And it looks like he did not this round, but Brand's ult nonetheless just did ridiculous damage anyway. And he's about to cast his ult again. Let's see. And yeah, look at the damage dealt. Brand 3,600. So yeah, Brand, if you've played League of Legends at all, you're probably familiar with the way his ult works. It bounces around from person to person. He had the same ult in set 1 as well when he was an Elementalist. But he's actually stronger here in set 2 because he was only a 3-cost champ in set 1. And he's a 2-cost or 4-cost champ here in set 2. And by the way, I still have not put a unit over on that Ocean tile. For whatever reason, I'm just not paying attention to it. I'm going to shift flat over there in time. Now, I did also find a LeBlanc, and even though LeBlanc is not a core part of this comp, I can toss LeBlanc in right now because she actually does make woodlands, which means I will get a copied woodland champ. A little bit unlucky I've never found the last Ivern. Like, I just need 1 more Ivern to 2-star that unit, and I haven't found that. So we're actually going to get a LeBlanc copy here. Luke Killera is also running a setup that is woodland-based. He had Woodland Jordan as well, but he's got the Vagar. And Brand's going to get off a nice ult. You can see it bounces a whole bunch of times, but unfortunately, too many summons in play. Thresh actually, yeah, not using his shield very well, and so I actually end up losing that round pretty badly. That one just didn't go very well. Luke Killera actually has a pretty strong setup right now, and that's one of the team comps I'm going to have to worry about as the game goes on. Alright, so what do we have here? Another carousel round. Unfortunately, I've lost the last 2 rounds. That does mean I go slightly earlier on the carousel. In terms of items, I would love to get the spatula. That's probably top priority because spatula plus tier, again, would allow me to make that Wooglet switch cap and get another mage. But of course, that's gone. No surprise that that disappears so quickly. And so out of the items that are left, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Giant's Belt. Also, could have gotten another needlessly large rod, but I decided to go for the Giant's Belt, and the reason for that is it allows me to make Zephyr. Zephyr was an item that was kind of didn't have a very good reputation in set 1. Basically what Zephyr does, it allows you to take another unit out of the fight for the first couple seconds of each round of combat. And, well, I do make the Syndra 2-star here, so I'm going to replace the LeBlanc with Syndra. By the way, this is all pre-recorded. I can't record live because there are no replays for... I guess I could just record live, but there's no replays for Teamfight Tactics. And at this point, I'm going to switch my comp over. I'm going to drop the Woodlands part. That allows me to get Ocean 4. There's the Zephyr on Vlad. And let's see. So you see I dropped the Ivern and I dropped the Maokai, and I replaced it with Nautilus and Annie. Annie is a summoner. Annie doesn't inherently do all that much, but Annie does get me closer to Inferno, which is a key part of this composition as well. And I would love it if I could get Witch Cap and put it on Annie. Oh, by the way, look at Brand's ult doing so much damage here. And there comes the Tibbers. Tibbers is really helpful because, again, I mentioned one of the weaknesses of Ocean Mage, it doesn't have much of a front line, and Tibbers is really helpful in terms of providing that kind of tankiness. But yeah, now I'm 1 away on Inferno, and Inferno would be really, really helpful to get in here. One thing that this comp can do is it can pick up Zyra, and then you can run like Brand, Annie, Zyra, and then if you can get 1 more Summoner, you also have Summoner 3. But yeah, it's I'm kind of working towards what I want right here. I'm looking at what the other comps are. You can see there's another one, a couple. There's that Summoner Inferno, another Ocean Mage. So again, I would really like to see Noob AD get knocked out because he's running the same comp as me. And if he goes out, I think he's got a Brand already. That would make it easier for me to win. One other thing I mentioned about just to get back to the Zephyr point, I mentioned Zephyr not seen as being that good in set 1, the previous set of Teamfight Tactics. Better here because people almost always put one of their strong units, one of their carries on one of the elemental tiles, so you can control what's going to get Zephyred much better because like I have Vlad on one of the elemental tiles and he's going to take out one of the best units on the other team's comp in pretty much every fight. By the way, Brand got his ult double casted there and you just saw it just instantly melted the enemy team because we had 2 Brand fireballs bouncing around there. There is a fair amount of RNG associated with playing Mage with only 3 mages because you're not guaranteed to get the double cast. It's just 50% odds. So you can have a wide swing in terms of how effective it is as we go into another minion rounds here. One of the reasons why the Witch Cap is so good to put on Annie is then she's got a 50% chance of double summoning Tibbers, which is extremely powerful to have double Tibbers in play. And that's an item that I would love to make, but I have not gotten any spatulas yet. And without a spatula, obviously, you can't make the Witch Cap. So we're looking pretty good here. Still in good position. I am trying to find, I'm trying to find Nautilus 2. I'm trying to find Annie 2. I only need 1 more Annie for that, so that would be nice. And then I'm going to look to find Malphite as well, because I'd love to put in both the Talia and Malphite when I get to a higher level, because that will provide much more tankiness for my comp. Now there's a tier, so if I can find the spatula, all I need is a spatula to get a Witch Cap on Annie. And by the way, there's a Nautilus, and I make probably my biggest mistake of the round. I don't grab this Nautilus, if I remember correctly. For whatever reason, I just didn't see it. I'm actually going to toss in the Janna here. Now, Janna doesn't really do anything, but she's just kind of like a generic 4-cost. Oh, never mind. I do find this one. There's another later Nautilus I do not find. And I do re-roll here, and I actually find an early Annie too, which is, again, super duper nice. And that's going to allow me to actually drop the Janna, and then I just pick up Diana because I see her sitting there. I'm like, oh, I just need 1 more champ for Inferno. And Inferno is really, really nice. I can also make Redemption here potentially, but I'm not going to use that tier yet. I really want to wait and see if I can find a spatula so I can make Witch Cap, put the Witch Cap on Annie. And by the way, yeah, there's the bouncing Brand ultimate. Also, note the enemy champ standing on Inferno. It's hard to get a sense for how much damage his Inferno is doing, but it really does contribute. Like, you don't want Inferno to be the core of your team comp, but it's really handy as like a secondary ability to add some additional damage. So there's the Malphite. And I think I also, yeah, I was considering putting in the Malphite for more front line, but I thought this over, and I was like, you know, I do want Malphite here, but unless I can also have Talia in to get the Mountain elemental buff, I think I'm better off just putting in the Diana and keeping Inferno in play. So you're going to see me do that here. Again, there's no replays for Teamfight Tactics. This is all pre-recorded footage that I can't alter in any way. So yeah, I'm just holding on to some different champs, holding on to LeBlanc, but probably not going to go LeBlanc, holding on to Talia, hoping I can make Talia 2-star. I only need one more champ for that. There goes the double Zephyr on both sides. Now, this particular comp seems to be running some Assassins, and that's not great. My comp does not fare that well against Assassins like that. Kha'Zix is jumping around. Brand is going to get off another nice ult. And let's see if we have enough damage. The problem is I don't have any damage remaining. We've got a Tibbers fight up on the top of the screen, but all that's left is Vlad. And even though Inferno is doing some extra damage, it's not going to be enough. So I come up short, and that is a bad matchup for me. So that's Sir Dango? Yeah, Sir Danto, excuse me. He's got an Assassin's comp, which is not ideal for me because I'm running mostly squishy mages. And as I said, one of the weaknesses of this comp is that it's a relatively weak front line. So here you're going to see me sell the LeBlancs. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go into the LeBlancs. She just doesn't really fit. I'm not going to go 6 mages. 6 mages generally isn't that good. The problem with 6 mages is you're usually just not tanky enough to survive. 6 mages gives you 100% chance to double cast, which is quite nice. But unless you can like get a witch cap and put it on Annie, I mean Annie's the way you would want to go there because Tibbers can tank super hard. If you get witch cap on Annie and you get the double Tibbers, that provides enough tankiness. But otherwise, unless you can get at least 1 witch cap, it's usually not worth it to go 6 mages. Oh my god, Brand, so much damage. 2600 Brand, 2100 Annie right there. So we just cut right through Dewey. Whatever he was trying, I don't know what he was doing with those Soraka items. He had like an infinity hedge on Soraka. I don't know what he was going for there, but it didn't work. I think he's playing a light comp and he didn't manage to make Vayne 3 yet or something like that. So there is a spatula here. I was like, oh man, spatula. I've already got the tier. If I can get that spatula, that would be really nice. Now, unfortunately, I'm picking last, so the odds of a spatula still being there are low. Also, really want that Brand. Brand with a tier, that would be awesome, but Brand, of course, goes. And the spatula is gone, so I was like, well, that's not great. What do I have? I've got a tier, I've got a giant bow, I've got a recurve bow. I was like, all right, well, let's do this. Let's pick up another needlessly large rod. I can dump that on Annie with the giant belt, and that will make another Morellonomicon. So we get more healing debuff, more burn effect. Morellonomicon, just a really good item, so I'll just happily put that on Annie as well, so that Tibbers, when he appears, anyone he's near will be getting burned and have the healing debuff applied to them. And remember, there is a light comp in effect, so having these Morellonomicons really helps. That said, it sure would be nice if I could find another Brand. I did get the Brand early on, and I have found no other Brands yet. So, considering that Brand is the core of this comp, it's a little unfortunate I haven't found him. So I'll go down to 50 gold, just a couple rerolls there just to see if I could find Brand or if I could find another Nautilus or I guess another Diana or another Inferno unit I could put in there. Like, I'd love to put Zyra in. Zyra would probably be better than Diana, but anyway. So Brand's ult's bouncing around, doing lots and lots of damage. However, we have not managed to kill the Azir, who is the carry on the other team, and that's trouble. So we need Annie to see if she can get off Tibbers. She does get off Tibbers. And Tibbers is going to kill 1 unit, and by the way, look at that Inferno doing damage, but Zed's doing a lot of damage, and because we never killed Azir, we were not able to win in that comp. Blade Master Azir, interesting choice. So I'm going to pick up the Janna. Again, I'm holding Janna. Janna is for the extreme long term. Janna is so I can put in, what I'd like to do at the very end of the game is put in, and actually make Malphite too. So this is the last combat round before we have another minion round. Once we hit that minion round, I'm going to go to 8. I'll drop the Diana, and I'll put in Talia plus Malphite, and that'll make the Mountain Elemental buff. As I said, Janna is there so that I can eventually replace one of these units with Nami, and I can get Mystic from Janna plus Nami. So, see, this is the guy I want to be out. Want to beat this guy, Noob. He already has a Brand, and he has some great items on his Brand. Fortunately, he's not finding Brands either, because if he had Brand 2-star right now, he would just destroy me. The Death Cap, the Morellonomicon, and a tier, super duper strong over there. And in fact, Brand, when his Brand ulted, he did just kind of wreck me really, really hard. So he's going to get off another ult, and with Brand still alive, I can't win this fight. So yeah, his Brand has better items than my Brand, and they're both just 1-star at the moment. So really, really hoping I can find another one of those. And at this point, I'm like, all right, 2-star Sullla, 2-star Malphite. Like, we're ready to go as soon as this minion round's over. We'll be ready to switch over to that get that mountain buff in play. In the meantime, yeah, here I am. I'm still looking at what other people are running, trying to figure out what the other comps are. We can see that one person's going into Poison, which is bad for me. Poison is a counter to the Ocean Mage setup. Poison means it's harder to get your spells off. A Mage comp is all the damage comes from spells, so Poison not good. Fortunately, only one person seems to be running Poison. Here, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I really, really, really want to find a spatula so I can make Witch Cap, but I'm not going to get it there. I'm not going to get it there. I'm going to get a lot of gold. And I was like, all right. So now that I've seen that I did not get a spatula, now it's time to make items out of what I've got here. So we're going to go to 8. Out comes Diana. In goes Malphite. I'm going to shift Thresh off the front line into a position where you can shield more. And Talia is going to slot in as well. And there we go. Now I've got that mountain, what is it, element? Origin, I don't know what the technical term is. And I'm rolling a little bit. Again, I'm still looking for Brand. I haven't found him yet. But we're looking for another Nautilus would be great as well. I believe I actually miss a Nautilus here. Yep, see the Nautilus? I actually miss it. So whoops, that's a mistake. That was the time I missed the Nautilus. I remember from watching this before. And yeah, so that actually ends up being a big miss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these items. I'm going to use the tier. I'm clearly not going to get the spatula right now. And I'm going to Phantom Dancer on Malphite as well to make him immune to crits. Arguably, the Phantom Dancer should have gone on Brand just as a defensive item, because then Brand would give him some protection against assassins. Fortunately, there's not a lot of assassins. I think there's only one person running an assassin comp. That would also force me to take Brand off of the ocean tile, so I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. However, it probably would have been better to put that on Brand, just to, like I said, give him more protection. I could then also move him off the ocean tile. He's actually not in a great spot. I'd prefer for him to be further back. Like, I don't like having Brand that far forward, honestly. But yes, still no Brands. Still can't find another Brand. I've found 0 in all these rounds, and you've seen me reroll, not a ton, but a fair bit. So at this point, I did just destroy that last round, which was nice. Now keep your eye on something new, the guy with 1 health. I'm actually going to look at his comp right here. So he actually finds an Olaf, and then he Nikos his Olaf, and he's actually going to make Olaf 3, and that is all of a sudden going to be a problem, as we're going to see going forward here. But in any case, first we have a match with Sir Dantos. So he's running Summoner Inferno. So he has a very similar setup to me, except that he's going Summoners instead of going Mages. I get lucky here in the sense that the Mountain Shield goes on Brand. Look how much damage Brand is soaking up because he had that shield. He definitely would have died if he did not get that shield. But fortunately, instead, he's going to survive. And I think we would have won that round anyway, but it was a lot less close, and we're able to deal some more damage that way because Brand gets a second casting of his ult off instead of just that first one. So things are looking pretty good here. I've done well these last couple rounds. Now, unfortunately, the noob makes Brand 2, which is like, he's got another one of the Brands. So he has 3 Brands. I have 1. There are 12 total champions of the champion in the 4 cost units. There's 12 of them in the pool. So he has 3. I have 1. And unfortunately, there's going to be a Veigar 3-star. That's not good. At least I will Zephyr that that Veigar if I end up hitting Luke Killera, because that's where Vlad is. He's in a position to Zephyr whoever's standing on that tile. But yeah, 3-star Veigar. That's not good. In any case, here we've got something new. Now, something new is 1 hit point. So if he had taken literally 1 more point of damage in any previous battle, he would already be dead. But he was able to hit his Olaf 3-star, and you're about to see how stupid this Olaf 3-star is. So, yep, he's about to die. But nope, he's life-stealing. He's life-stealing. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. So, yep, that's the Olaf 3-star. He had life-steal. And we almost killed him. Almost. But came up just short. In any case, now it's another carousel round. And there are a couple of really good items here. There's a Force of Nature, but I actually don't really need Force of Nature that badly, and besides, it's already gone. What I really want is, I'm like, oh, there's another Brand. That's great. And in addition, the Brand has an item that's really good as well. It is the item that makes Inferno comp. Which one? What's the official name for that? I've got it sitting here. Oh, actually, I don't even have the name. Bomby Cinder, I believe. So whoever is wearing that, will also become Inferno. And I'm actually at Inferno 2 out of 3, so this gives me a chance to get Inferno into my comp. And I was like, you know what? Who should I put this on? Oh, you know what? Let's put it on Malphite. So whoever gets hit by Malphite's ult will then immediately start burning. Because the way that Inferno works is the little Inferno fire particles appear underneath the feet of anyone who gets damaged by an Inferno champion's spell. So that's the thing. They have to be damaged by a spell used by an Inferno champion to get the Inferno buff. This is why Inferno is overpowered on Singed, if you can put the Bami's Cinder on Singed, because he basically damages everyone, and you make him an Inferno champ, and the whole map becomes fires. But now when Malphite ults, watch, he's going to put fire underneath anyone he ults. He's also got that Redemption Aura coming in, and that Redemption Aura is going to heal up everybody. Plus, Brand's ult, wherever it hits, will now also get the Inferno burn. So watch, anyone that gets hit by Brand's bouncing fireball will have a little fire particle underneath them. So this is a close round. I need Tibbers to continue tanking long enough for Malphite to get off another ult. There he goes. Thanks B to that Phantom Dancer and the Redemption for just barely providing enough health. Got off a really good Redemption in that fight. So I've actually gotten a couple Luxes here, but none of the Luxes have had traits that I want. What I really want is an Ocean Lux. That would be ideal. Also, I leveled too soon there. You can see I go ahead and put in the Janna, and I'm actually looking for a Nami to put in here so that I can get the Nami plus Janna for the Mystic buff, which provides extra magic resistance to everybody. What do I have in here right now? I've actually got an extra Mage. I really have one more Mage. I could pull someone out of this comp, although I'm hesitant to do that because I don't want to lose my Ocean buff. But anyway, Scion gets off a really good ult for the enemy team, and so Brand does get the shield from Thresh. More clutch stuff there, but he can get off a second casting of his ult. There's fire everywhere, but that Vigor 3-star really was trouble. So this is going to be close, but unfortunately we don't really have any damage dealers in the team comp yet. There's actually only one living champ still over there, the Azir, and we actually are going to kill every champ. However, the Tibbers and the little summoned Yorick thing, I don't know what Yorick's minions are called, is going to turn that into a loss. So anyway, I went to level 9 one too early. I should have waited one more round to go to 9, because if I had held off on leveling, I could have waited for this minion round, and it was not worthwhile to go to 9. I had enough health. I could have survived another round. So yeah, everyone else is on super duper low health. Something new has been win streaking off this Olaf 3-star. Like, he's won every single round since he's gotten the Olaf 3-star. So that's looking pretty scary. Noob AD's got the Brand 2-star. I need him to lose so I can maybe finally find another Brand here. In terms of the items, we're getting a Locket. That's a nice item to get for late game. It'll just provide a little bit of extra health and shield for everybody. So I think I'm going to put that on the Thresh after I win this round. We get the Zephyr delay, and there's Janna ulting, which is quite nice there. I'm going to pick up a little extra gold. But yeah, so what I really, really, really want is I just want to find another Brand. Cannot seem to find that. There we go. So this will provide a shield, and a little bit of extra shield protection to Brand and to Annie. If I can shift champs over. There we go. So now let's go ahead and look. Looking for Brand. We are going to find Janna 2-star, which is nice. There's another Janna. Still looking. Still can't find. And I actually missed this. There's an Ocean Lux. Ah, what am I doing? I could have had Ocean Lux. I could have had Ocean 6 here, which would just be absurd. But I actually go past it because I see Nami, and I was like, all right, well, I'll lock for the Nami. I can take out Nautilus, who is still only 1-star. Oh, by the way, that Malphite ult, so good. So much fire damage from that Malphite ult. Now we just need him to ult again, gets off a second ult. Janna also providing a ton of health back. However, unfortunately, this is Noob AD, the guy who has the Brand, and he was able to get off his Brand ultimates. So I do lose that, although not by a lot. I don't lose a ton of health. And we're going to see someone go out here. The Z comp that's being run by Kogasa is going to eliminate Lukillera. Alright, so we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Just a couple rounds left. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Nami. I will drop the Nautilus and pick up Nami. So that does make Mystic, and a lot of these comps do have a lot of magic damage, so that is quite significant. And at this point, I was like, oh, geez, there it is, finally! Finally, the search for Brand is over. After all these rounds, I finally get the Brand 2-star. And now there's one more thing I want to do. I think I'm going to be up against I think you're going to be up against something new, so watch. I'm trying to position to Zephyr his Olaf out of the fight. So I actually even moved the whatchamacallit, the locket out of the way. And it turns out I'm wrong. I'm up against Kogasa the King. I was like, alright, well, so the Zephyr didn't work, but it was a decent idea. Meanwhile, we're going to see Malphite get off another ult. Critically, the Yorick over there is debuffed with Morello, so he is not healing off his Warmogs. And this is turning into a close fight. Brand has actually been monolocked, but he's going to be able to get his mana back. Another great ult from Malphite. A great redemption. Gets all of Malphite's health back again. And this is a really close fight, but that Inferno's doing a lot of work, and it looks like I'm just barely going to win this. And then look at what something new is typed in the chat. Wow, what a expletive Zephyr. He lost to my ghost. He lost to my ghost. And the reason why he lost, although we can't see it, is because I Zephyred his Olaf 3-star out of the fight against my ghost. This is one of those cases where I'm like, oh, if I could only go back and watch that fight so I could watch what actually happened there. But yeah, all that positioning, trying to get the Zephyr in position to knock out his Olaf, it actually worked. And so he dies against my ghost. Double elimination, and I finished in first place. I was actually shocked at how that worked. But hey, sometimes the planning does in fact work out. Zephyr, very, very important item. Very good late game when you know who you're going to be up against, because you can deliberately position who's going to get Zephyred. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Ocean Mage is considered to be kind of the overpowered comp right now, so it'll probably get nerfed in the next patch. But for the moment, it's a neat composition, and I found it a lot of fun to play. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week. See you guys soon. Take care.